Sorry about that. Hopefully we will not have any further technology issues. Everybody rejoin. Give everyone a minute here to jump back on. Sorry about that. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Technical glitch there. It was all Facebook's fault. And it was right when Scott was giving me a compliment. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hopefully we'll be good to go now. Give everyone a second to jump back on. I see eyeballs. I don't necessarily see people. I see Dan is in here. Thank you. I see we have 6 others, 5 others, 4 others, I guess, including me and Dan. There's Jim. Thank you guys for coming back. Sorry about that. I don't know if I hit the button that said end the video, which I very well could have because I was moving around with the mouse. I'm not going to touch the mouse. I'm going to just leave it alone right now. So we'll be good to go. Okay, so let's get started, man. We got a lot to cover today. And what I wanted to start with is sharing a few things from what, again, I call the CEO notebook. This is my personal notes that I've kept over the years, mostly from coaching sessions that I've been working on with my coach. So I've had a coach over the years. And so in preparation for today, by the way, today, our main topic is going to be action, all right? Action. Hey, Stevette. So we've been working the last few weeks on our business plans. And I'm 100% sure I mentioned at some point along the way that a business plan is not something you do once a year and then, you know, throw it in your desk drawer. It's a living, breathing document. But the essence of the business plan is once you've got everything plugged in terms of your goals and all of that, it's the action plan, right? What are you going to do to execute on your plan? So that's what we're going to focus on today, is the actual action, the activities. So I was going through my CEO notebook, and this is from November 5th. And I'm going to say 2015, just based on the other dates I see. November 5th, 2015. And my coach, Mike, said, and I wrote down, the market doesn't slow down. Agents' activities do. The market doesn't slow down. Agents' activities do. The moral is keep working. Keep working. When the market goes down, the ground that you gain, you'll never lose. I'm going to repeat that. When the market goes down, and I'm going to read you guys something a little bit about the market shift, but when the market goes down, the ground that you gain, in other words, the business that you pick up in a downturn, you're never going to give up. The downturn, guys, is the greatest opportunity in the 4 market cycles. So your activities, your action is even more critical now. And we're going to talk not just about action today, guys, but massive action and what the difference is. If you took action, what would your business look like? If you took massive action, what would your business and your life look like? So in a down market, the ground you gain, you never lose. You'll never get back. Scratch that last part. It was a side note. So here's what we're talking about here in that down market. What we're talking about is like when your mind expands, it can never go back to where it was. The ground you pick up in a down market, it's the same thing. You're gonna keep that, right? You're gonna get entrenched. So that was the first thing that jumped out at me. The other note I'm seeing, and this is from December 3rd, also of 2015. And this was just something I wrote down. And honestly, guys, I don't even know why I wrote some of this stuff down in the moment. I can't necessarily recall what the conversation was, but it was pertinent to today and the action. I'm going to fix my light there a little bit. There we go. And my comment that I wrote down was, focus on what I want right now. Focus on what I want right now. If it works, how can I duplicate it? And how can I systematize it? Because when it comes to action, guys, you want to make it easy, right? It's one thing to say, I'm going to bang the phones for 3 hours a day and make 100 contacts. But you know, after a week or two of that, you need a break. You're going to be burned out. So how do you systematize some of the action, some of the activities? Something to think about, right? All right. Enough on the CEO notebook. As I mentioned, we're going to talk about the first of the Holy Scriptures in real estate today, a little bit. And again, this is going to be very specific items around action, okay? And when we talk about action, one of the things we have to talk about is lead generation. Surprise, 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 right? We're always talking about lead generation, and obviously you need to have leads to have business. And I want you to think about lead generation, and I know I've said this, you may have heard me say it before, but one of the things people get caught up in is, and you go on any Facebook website, Facebook real estate group or anything like that, and you're going to see questions. Lab Coat Agents is a good one. You're going to see questions posted in there around things like, you know, what's the best source of leads? What if you had $500 a month? What would you do with it, right? And then, you know, invariably somebody goes, oh, I'd spend it on Zillow. I'd spend it on this. I'd spend it on that. And then invariably somebody goes, oh, the Zillow leads suck. Internet leads are a waste of time. Guys, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter where the leads come from. It really, really doesn't. Right? It's an opportunity. If it's an opportunity to talk to somebody about real estate, it doesn't matter where it came from. No, what matters is how good are you at taking it from a lead and converting, underline the word converting, that person into a prospect or a client, right? So it doesn't matter where they come from. So there's an old adage that I love, and I live by this when it comes to lead generation. And you'll hear people say, hey, it's better to spend time going after quality. And I will tell you guys that the quality is in the quantity. The quality is in the quantity. In other words, if you're talking to 5 quality leads and you can convert 1 or 2 of them, what if you talk to 35 leads and in that 35 there were 9 quality versus the 5? You see where I'm going with that? Now, don't ignore that low-hanging fruit. Obviously, you want to go after it, but the quality is in the quantity, simply meaning the more people you talk to, the more quality you're going to find. Are you with me on that? Okay, I hope you get it. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time talking about lead generation. What I want to focus on is the action steps. So we're going to talk a little bit about lead sources and things like that. But I do want to read a few things to you guys out of MREA. And if you haven't got MREA, yeah, I know Gary Keller wrote it, and it's the Keller Williams Bible, but it's not really. It's just a blueprint on how to build a successful real estate business. That's what this book is. It is a blueprint on how to build a successful real estate business. The trick of it is, are you going to do the activities that you need to do to build the business? And for some reason or another, some people do, some people don't. So let's see, what do we want to do about this here? Talked about the quality is in the quantity. Let me just one little tidbit more on that. And I'm just going to read this. Highly successful real estate agents will tell you that as far as lead generation is concerned, the quality is in the quantity. Whereas most real estate agents do modest lead generation, therefore they get modest results. A few do massive lead generation and they reap massive rewards. They are the MRE agents, the mega agents. So again, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to put into this in terms of the activities that need to happen? Okay, so let's go over really quickly the 3 key areas of your lead generation model. You've got the prospecting and marketing piece, right? Where you're going to be generating leads, moving them kind of from maybe that, like let's say for example, you're farming a neighborhood or an area and you don't know everybody. You got 500 homes, right? You don't know everybody in that 500 homes group, right? You might know some of them. You might know some of them really, really well. But the idea is you've got a lot of people out here. So I want you to picture a target, okay? So you've got people in that outer ring of the target who you don't know. The goal is to connect with them, win the mind positioning battle. In other words, I'm Jason, I'm a real estate agent. I'm Jason, I'm a real estate agent. Kind of winning that mind share in this outer ring, and then you want to move them in, move them in, move them in. Right? That's lead generation. That's the marketing and prospecting piece. So the goal to achieve big lead generation is twofold. There's two things you really need to worry about. You need to generate leads, obviously, and build stronger relationships for future business. And again, I'm gonna share some of this stuff as we're going through. This is that target I'm talking about. So in the outer ring, you've got kind of the general public. You've got a target group. So both of these groups, the general public and the target group, again, you may not know those people. You haven't met them before. Now, the difference, though, is in the targeted group, that's going to maybe be specific messaging. Maybe they're for sale by owners, or you're going after investors, some specific target, okay? But you don't know them, right? In both of those outer rings, you haven't really known them. The idea is to meet them, right? Taking the action to meet them, and then move them into these inner circles, right? So you've got your MET groups and your allied resources, right? People that you're doing business with already, vendors, things like that. So just to kind of give you that visual of, you've got these people out here that you don't necessarily know, and you want to bring them in, meet them, right? So we'll talk about a couple of strategies around how do you meet those people. The first way is, and this could be again with a farm, a specific target group, using a 12 direct program, which is 12 touches in a year, so 1 per month. You're going to send them something. Could be a combination, should be a combination of digital, right? Email, newsletters online, whatever the case may be, and probably print. So maybe some activity pieces. So if you're sending out just listed, just sold, include those people in your target group. It's showing your real estate activity to them, right? That you're busy, you're doing stuff. But 1 piece a month. Now, when you first bring them into your world, okay, you want to put them on a more frequent touch campaign, okay? So that might be something, well, in the KW world, we called it the 8x8, which was 8 touches in 8 weeks. So one communication, 1 marketing piece every week for 8 weeks. That's designed to quickly win that mind share battle, quickly get you top of mind in that prospect's mind that you're in real estate. But you got to take that, that action, right? So that's the prospecting and the marketing piece. I'm going to share and show you guys, and if you have MREA, this is on page 138. By the way, this is what they call the leadership edition of MREA. And what I love about it is it's got all the problems that you might be facing in your business right here, and then where in the book they are. So you can quickly reference everything. Just to share that with you. So when we're talking about that general public, here are some strategies. Again, page 138 in the book. Prospecting, proactive and direct prospecting activities. So you're going to have things like, you can pick up the phone and call for sale by owners. You can call expireds, just listed, just sold, work in your sphere of influence and client base. Allied resources. I'm going to come back to allied resources in a minute. A geographic farm area. Mailing to apartment buildings or areas where there's a lot of rentals. In a lot of areas, it's more expensive to rent than it is to buy. People may not know that. So I love doing direct mail pieces into high, like luxury apartments, high-end apartment buildings where people are paying more for rent than they would pay in a mortgage. They just don't know that. So you can send that out, those direct mail pieces. How about corporate opportunities? So we've got I don't know if she's on the line because I can't see everybody on today, but we've got an agent in the Los Angeles area that's doing some work with like a human resources department in a company that she worked for, and creating opportunities to get in front of their employees and offering some benefits, or just doing a home buying seminar, something like that, where you can get in with those. Builders, if there's still construction, or if construction slowed down and there's a surplus inventory of new homes, Maybe you can go out and network with those builders and say, hey, look, I know you got a sales team, or maybe you're dwindling your sales team down. Let me take it out and market it to, the greater general public, right? I can do a better job and help you expand your footprint. So builders. So you've got those are all phone call opportunities, guys. You can pick up the phone and just call. So there's 3 in there, 4 really, that I would put into your action plan, okay? And these are kind of maybe some of the old school things. We're going to talk about a lot of different stuff today in terms of activities, but in this group that we just went through, the kind of the phone call opportunity stuff for sale by owners, I understand there's probably not a lot of them out there right now, but there will be. There will be. It's coming. As we go into the shift, market's still up, people think they can do it on their own, they will start trying, and you will start seeing more for sale by owner signs pop up. I'm a big fan, and I've talked about this a lot, of the just listed, just sold calls, or knocking doors if you want to go out and knock those doors. And again, guys, they do not have to be your listings or your sales. Pull up in a neighborhood you want to get into. Just go into the MLS and pull up, a couple of homes that just came on the market maybe in the last couple of weeks in that neighborhood, and just go knock on the doors or make the phone calls. The listing agent is not doing that, I promise you. They may be sending out just listed cards or just sold cards, 50-50 chance, but I promise you, they're not knocking on doors. They're not calling those people. I've gone through the scripts. Go back and look at some of the previous Facebook Live events, and you'll get that stuff. But it's a simple call. How you doing? It's Jason. I'm calling about a new home that just got listed in the neighborhood, and I wanted to give you a chance to choose your new neighbor. Who do you know that might like to move into the neighborhood, right? Simple, simple, simple. So the for sale by owners, pay attention for those. The just listed, just sold. And then I mentioned allied resources. What are allied resources? Well, these are the vendors. These are the title reps. These are the mortgage people. These are the escrow companies. These are the termite guys. These are the handyman or the permit people. Everybody that anytime we sell a house gets a job, right? Because when we sell a house, a lot of people go to work, right? So these are all those folks that we work with every single day. And what are they doing every single day? Well, they're probably hitting you up for business, right? Hey, I'd love an opportunity to work with any of your buyers. You want me to help you with an open house? When am I going to get that next title order, right? That's what they do. You got to do it back. Hey, Bob, I'd love to send you my next buyer for a pre-qual. And I'd also love to be a go-to resource for you. Who do you know that's looking to buy or sell that I could call today? You've got to take that step. That's an action item. Every time a vendor calls you or meets up with you at a networking event or says, hey, what's up? Can I do anything for you? Hey, as a matter of fact, you can. I'm looking to grow my business. I set a goal. I want to help 15 families next year buy or sell a home. Who do you know that is in the market to buy or sell today that I could call, right? And by the way, anybody you send me, I'd be happy to obviously refer them back to you for your services, right? I'll be happy to give you that title order. I'd be happy to have you come over and do that home inspection, right? It's a two-way street. So you need to put that into your action plan of communicating with your vendors that, hey, look, I appreciate all the hard work and the service you provide to me and my clients. But by the way, I'd love to get your referrals as well, right? Now, it might be a little tricky. They may have a relationship with somebody. That's okay. I just want to give me a shot, just like I gave you a shot. Give me a shot. Let me know who I can help, right? All right, so those are the phone call opportunities. Next on the list, face-to-face opportunities. So again, that can be allied resources, knocking doors. I know I talked about some door knocking strategies a few weeks ago. Let's revisit those quickly. If you're doing an open house, even if it's not your listing, and open houses, by the way, is another opportunity, but you're doing an open house, go knock on 10 doors to the left, 10 doors to the right, 10 doors across the street. That's 10, 20, 30 homeowners potentially that you can get in front of and say, hey, look, I got this great house for sale. We're going to be doing a great open house event this weekend. I wanted to invite you, but also let you know that if you know anyone else who you would love to be neighbors with, who might like to live in the neighborhood, let them know. Send them my way. Here's a flyer, right? By the way, how long have you guys lived here? You have any plans of moving? What do you love about the neighborhood? Get to know these people, right? Because the rule of thumb is when one home goes up for sale in a neighborhood, usually 2 or 3 more are put up for sale in the not too distant future. How cool would it be that even if it wasn't your listing, but you were the agent working the neighborhood, you were the agent bringing them information that's valuable to them, you were the agent getting into relationship with them, that when they decided, you know what, I do want to move, I'm going to call Jason, right? Or I'm going to call Jim, or I'm going to call Mark or Scott or Stevette, right? How awesome would that be? It's amazing. So door-to-door canvassing, right? It could be either to promote an open house you're doing, or just a new listing came on the market. Again, that agent isn't doing it. I promise you. I promise you. All right. 2 other really cool things with the face-to-face opportunities. 3, actually, I want to cover here that you can get into your action plan. Client parties, right? Now, maybe you start out with friends and family, and maybe you don't have a ton of clients, but let's say last year or in the last couple years, you sold 20 houses, or you worked with 20 clients. Throw a party. Could be a simple barbecue at the local park or at your house, probably at your house if you're back east now that you're into wintertime. It's raining here. It's our California winter. I think my patio furniture got blown over last night. That's the extent of it. It's still 70 degrees, but anyway, I digress. But throw a little party. And there's other great venues. You know, if in the spring or summertime, you know, take your best clients out to a ball game. Now that it's wintertime, maybe take them to a basketball game. Maybe you got a minor league hockey team. It doesn't have to cost a fortune. I mean, do a movie night. Take them all to the movies, and you know, pay for the movie and the popcorn and the sodas, and you know, spend a little bit of time connecting with everybody. But get people together, right? That's the whole thing. Get people together. Have fun with your clients. Networking events. Now, this is you going out to networking events. Okay, so 2 types of people go to networking events. 3 kinds of people. The first kind of person is the wallflower. They go and they just kind of stand over here in the corner. Hey, how you doing? Oh, hey, nice to meet you. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, thanks. Right. Like, why are they even in sales? Right? Because they don't like people, or they're afraid of people, or whatever the case may be. The second kind is the opposite, right? They're like, hey, how you doing? I'm Jason. Here's 14 business cards, and give me a call. Let's go to lunch. I'd love to grab coffee. You're kind of like, whoa, I don't even know what you do, right? Be the person in the middle. Be friendly, be nice, but bring value, right? And sometimes that wallflower might be the guy standing in the corner just handing out business cards. And I never got that. Right? Maybe he just wants to get new business cards and he's got to get rid of all of them first. I don't know. But I rarely, if ever, give somebody my card. If they ask for it, I will. But I want to have some sort of a connection with that person. So when you go to the networking events, and I don't care what it is, right now there's a bunch of holiday parties. If you're involved with your local realtor association like I am, you know, we had our board of directors installation dinner. We had the Asian Real Estate Association installation dinner. We had the National Association of Hispanic Realtors installation dinner. So all these holiday parties are going on. And so I want to connect with people. And, you know, I know a lot of people like on Facebook that we rarely see each other, if ever, in real life. So it might be, hey, Bobby, how you doing? I'm keeping up with you on Facebook, man. But you don't really know them. You know what I mean? You probably got a lot of friends like that on Facebook, friends. So be purposeful in your networking. When you go to the networking events, have a plan. Right, have a strategy. Like, hey, I want to connect today. If it's an industry event, like a real estate industry event, you know, maybe you're looking for a new lender. Hey, I'm going to meet 3 lenders tonight, and I'm going to ask them these questions, right? And just to learn about who they are. So have a plan. Be purposeful in your connections and your communications at these networking events, right? And only give your card to people that you feel, or ask for the card from somebody if you feel like you've made a real connection and you're going to be able to move forward on a relationship. And that relationship might involve, hey, let's get together next week and grab coffee and talk some strategy. You know, I got a few clients I might like to connect with you, but I need to figure that out a little bit. So the networking events can be really, really cool. And then the other one is teaching and speaking opportunities. So for you guys, what does that mean? Well, homebuyer seminar, perfect example. How to invest in real estate, how to build wealth by buying real estate. You know, whatever can be. I have a great PowerPoint if you're interested in for the homebuyer seminar that you can totally customize and make your own. just let me know. I'm happy to send it out. Now, and then all you got to do is, find a location. I would partner with a couple of people on this, a lender if you're doing a home buyer. If you're in a state that does escrow, maybe somebody from the escrow company to kind of explain what that is. And then I always love having a title rep come out, because title's that kind of behind the scenes thing people don't know about, really. Like, title, what is that? But they do a lot, right? And talking about issues with title and what does that mean. The other thing is maybe they can sponsor, so they can maybe pony up a little bit of money if you want to have refreshments or lunch or something like that. And usually those companies have big conference rooms. You might even be able to do that for free at their office by bringing people in or something like that. So teaching and speaking opportunities, I think, are great ways for you to be able to get in front of people and generate leads. Okay, so here's what you should have written down. First, at the top of your paper, assuming you have a paper to write with, something to write on, action items, and then A, lead generation. And then number 1 under lead generation, for sale by owners, just sold, just listed calls, past clients or sphere of influence, allied resources. Okay. Number 2, face-to-face, door knocking, open houses, client parties, and networking events. Okay. Oh, and then teaching or speaking opportunities. Some other things that you can add in there. All right, let's jump forward, and I want to talk about some action items around your marketing. And I've talked about this before, but just really quick, it's the 4 laws of real estate marketing, right? Number 1, build a database. So what are you using to keep all your people in? This is an action item, because if you don't have something that you're putting all your client information or lead generation information in, you need to get something. That's the action. Get something to put your client's information in. Some sort of a contact manager, okay? So build a database. Second, feed the database. In other words, now that you've got a system that you can put people into, now you need to put people into it. That's the second action item, right? Feed the database. The third, now that you've put people in there, is you have to consistently market to the database. Consistently market. And I talked about a couple of things there, right? If they're new to your world, 8 touches in 8 weeks. Okay, could be newsletters, it could be market information, it could be CMAs, it could be down payment assistance program, whatever it is. Come up with 8 things, and each week send them 1 thing. Okay, and 1 or 2 of those contacts should be a phone call, by the way. That should be one of the 8 contacts. So build the database, feed the database, market consistently to the database. And then the 4th thing is service all of the people that come your way. So you've put somebody in, you've consistently marketed, now they're reaching out to you saying, hey, I'm ready. Thank you for doing all this. Make sure that you are providing a great experience, that you're servicing them at a very high level. Absolutely critical. So yesterday I was at, I'm on the board of directors with my local association, the Pacific Southwest Association of Realtors, and it was our strategic planning day, which basically we go through the goals of the association. I mean, it's an all-day thing, exhausting, really. But one of the things that that we talked about, and it just seems to come up constantly nowadays, is how back in the day we used to control all of the data, right? People had to come to us to get the information about the properties. Now they can find it anywhere. Thank you very much, Zillow. That's what a lot of people think. They're so afraid of Zillow. They're so afraid of all these new companies and all this stuff happening in real estate that's going to put them out of work. And I always go, look, I don't have any fear of any of that. And the reason is Zillow can't provide service like I can. Zillow can't create an experience like I can. And I'll give you an example. One of the ladies at the session yesterday had to leave and come back. And the reason she had to leave was because the septic system at a property she has for sale literally collapsed into a sinkhole. How is Zillow going to help that? They're not. It takes a great real estate agent to handle that situation, right? It takes a great real estate agent to go, hey man, I got this. It's cool. I'm going to take care of it. Don't worry about it. I know it's a big mess, but I got people. They got your back, and we're going to take care of it. We're going to create a great experience for you guys. So you gotta don't lose sight of that service. It's a huge part of your action plan. You've got to have a strategy around providing the very highest levels of service. All right, it is 1:30. And I think I've covered all of that I wanted to do in the lead generation piece. Oh, the action steps, by the way, should be focused on generating listings. I know you've heard me say that before, right? Not saying don't work with buyers. What I'm saying is that if you have listings, you will always have plenty of buyers. Okay, so your lead generation activities should be focused on generating listings, taking listings, all right? So I want you to keep that in mind. And the reason you always have buyers is when you have signs up, what happens? Buyers call on signs. You can do open houses. Buyers come to open houses. Your seller, hopefully, is going to buy something from you. Best seller in the world, by the way, your seller who's in escrow, who's going to also buy something from you. And so that's what you want to focus on is that. I'm going to shift gears a little bit here, guys, for the next 10 minutes or so, and go into the second of the Holy Grail books, Shift, because we are in a shift, and I want to share a couple of thoughts with you around this, and I just highlighted. Where did I highlight this? Was it here? I know I highlighted that one. Sorry about that. Any questions? You guys can type in if anybody has any questions or thoughts they want to share while I'm finding my place. My apologies for losing my spot. I thought I flipped over the page. But if anybody has any comments, feel free to share them. Just type them right into the comment section there. I'm just looking for my table of contents here. Oh, there we go. Okay, 23 to 49. Okay. Okay, so let's jump into this and talk a little bit about the shift and the activities that need to happen. By the way, the shift book is all based on that right there. 12 tactics. 12 tactics to focus on in a shifting market. All right, so let me read this to you, and I want you to tell me if this sounds familiar. Fewer leads, fewer showings, and increased days on the market. Anybody seeing that? Fewer leads, fewer showings, increased days on the market. The minute these signs show up, take notice. The minute these signs show up, take notice. Don't ignore them and don't wait tact. These are the early warning signals of what is most likely coming next. And we're seeing this, more inventory and fewer pending sales. This is the sequence of a shift. Demand slows down, supply builds up. It starts with fewer leads and ends with even less closings. Buyers and sellers get thrown for a loop, and they in turn throw the market for one. What felt like an unlimited supply of buyers and sellers suddenly feels very limited. Abundance quickly shifts to scarcity. Write that one down. Abundance quickly shifts to scarcity. That's kind of a mindset thing too, right? If you have an abundant mindset, not a fear-based mindset of scarcity. So the cause and challenge, and this is what I just highlighted today, the cause and challenge of a shift is simply one word: motivation. One word: motivation. So let's talk about that. And I want to talk about motivation in the context of what separates top agents or high producers in anything from average? I would argue mindset is part of it, but really it's motivation, or really more lack of motivation. There's something in some of us that makes us okay with being average. Okay? I don't know what it is. It's like, why do we exist kind of question, right? But there's something in there that tells our brain, for whatever reason, that I'm cool with an average job. I'm cool with an average car. I'm cool with an average dog, an average house, an average wife, average kids. You know, that's extreme, but that's the reality, right? And for some of us, it might be based on where we came from, and we've already exceeded that. And so we settle, okay? And we all have these people in our lives, right? I grew up single mom with a younger brother. Friendly with my dad. He was close by, but basically, you know, we were latchkey kids. We came home from school every day. Nobody was home. And there were a lot of kids like that in my neighborhood. A lot of moms and or blended families, like the Brady Bunch, right? Where second marriage, they brought their kids together, kind of a thing. And so basically we pretty much did whatever we wanted to do running around the neighborhood. And there was good and bad, obviously, with that. But at the end of the day, a lot of those people, a lot of those kids have done better. One of the reasons I've been with my wife for more than 30 years is probably because we both came from divorced families, parents who went through divorces. And I think we're aware of that. So there's something in our psyche that says, based on where we came from and what we've achieved so far, we're good. We're settling, because no matter what, at the end of the day, we've done better. And I get that. I really get that. But if you were able to do that already, why can't you stretch it and do it again, right? So I want to talk about the motivation piece really quick. And there's a guy named Andy Andrews who wrote a book called The Traveler's Gift. And the wisdom that he shares is, and this is a quote, "Our lives are fashioned by choice. First, we make choices, then our choices make us." And I agree with that. And it shows up over and over and over and over again. And I know you guys have experienced this as well, right? Today, I choose to go be proactive, to go be creative, to go do what I need to do. Today, I'm going to hang around and watch Netflix. You make the choice, and then 6 hours later, you're still on the couch watching Netflix, right? The choice makes you. So we are what we decide we will be, and we do what we decide we will do. We become our choices. So when we look at the 12 issues that we're going to look at, we're not going to look at all of them today, but in the shift book, the 12 things in the shift book, they're really an opportunity. Okay, guys? It's an opportunity to make the 12 most important decisions that will directly impact your career and power you through any market shift. So, the action items here, guys, is basically that. At the end of the day, it's just take some action that's gonna get you closer to your goal. Okay? I'm imploring you. This is the conversation I have with everybody I talk to in real estate. I had an agent in my office the other day who's new to the company, kind of new to the business, and I spent an hour or so with them just talking through, here's what, if I was you, this is what I would be doing every day. Now, are you going to do it? I don't know. I'll help you, but you got to help yourself. Okay. And I was just laying that out as a lesson learned based on experience. Okay. So just take that for what it's worth. You got to do the work. Okay. That's the action. It's not just going to come to you. You can't just post something on Facebook and wait for something to happen. Will something happen? Maybe, probably not. Right. You've got to be more action oriented than that. So I want to just share this with you, and then we'll kind of open it up for questions. And I literally highlighted almost the whole page, right? You can see that. because it's all about the action, guys. This is what it comes down to. If you don't take anything away from today except one thing, make it this. Okay, so I want to read this, and you can kind of take it for what you want, but it's kind of the crux of what we're talking about today based on action. Here's what it says: the critical actions that you identify must be carried out by you or personally overseen by you on a daily basis. So what we're talking about here is if you have a buyer's agent or you have somebody else that's working with you on your team, you can't let go completely of the lead generation. You need to oversee it. Okay, you need to know what that person or people are doing and hold them accountable to what the goals are, right? So the critical actions that you identify must be carried out by you or personally overseen by you on a daily basis. Research shows that the two actions real estate agents must take personal ownership of are lead generation and lead conversion. We talked about conversion. It doesn't matter where the lead comes from. All that matters is how good are you at converting that person to a client. That's practicing and role-playing your scripts, nailing your listing presentation, nailing your buyer consultation, improving your skills in those areas. That's the more important thing than where the lead comes from. Okay, I need you to get that. That's really, really important. Nothing becomes more critical to success than finding motivated buyers and sellers and closing them to an appointment. So the mindset is lead generation is done to get appointments. That's the mindset. I do lead generation to get appointments. A byproduct of that is I get leads. Don't flip it. Don't do lead generation to get leads. Lead generate to get appointments. Byproduct is you will get leads that you'll have to nurture along, okay? So that's the mindset. Lead generate for appointments. Your active involvement in the lead conversion process gives you two invaluable gifts. First, you get an immediate and ongoing sense of the issues of the market, the buyer and seller objections that need to be overcome. So if you have another agent on your team that's doing some lead generation, but you're not monitoring it on a daily basis, how do you know what their challenges are? How do you know what they're dealing with? How do you know if they're even actually doing the lead generation? Are they just writing it down? I made 37 phone calls today. I talked to 12 people. I generated 2 leads. I didn't set any appointments. How do you know if you're not really monitoring that? And by the way, how do you know if you're not doing it? Because you're not tracking it. Simple. Really, really simple. Okay. The second gift is this is what I just mentioned. You will get an honest of the conversion rates that are possible, an honest understanding of the conversion rates that are possible. No one on your team will be as talented or as invested in closing leads to appointments, and your direct participation allows you to set the standard and coach your team on how they too can meet it. It's called management by wandering around, but it's not really wandering. It's periodically and regularly inserting yourself into critical areas of the business. I love that. I love the wandering. So the last thought on this, guys, is that when business gets tight, issues reveal themselves as the timeless factors that determine the difference between success and failure. School is never out for the motivated. School is never out for the motivated. The basics are never outdated. The basics are never outdated. Okay, so again, do yourself a favor and go on Amazon if you don't own these books. Okay. And by the way, there's lots of other great books out there about real estate. Blueprint for creating a successful real estate business. That's what this is. It's a how-to manual. It's an operating manual. Okay. Forget about the company. Forget about all that. It's a brilliant book on how to build a successful real estate business. Because we're now in a shift, you need to know what's going on in the market and what you can do about it. Okay, what are top agents doing in the downturn? And here's what's going to happen. You're either going to become a top agent or be put out of business by a top agent. We had this conversation yesterday because one of the main focuses on in our Association of Realtors, like all Association of Realtors, is growing your membership. Okay, growing your membership. We're coming up on the end of the year. What happens at the beginning of the year? Well, you start getting those bills from your local association, right? You got to pay your local, state, and national due and your MLS fees. We're going to see the National Association of Realtors agent count go down at the beginning of the year. I promise you, by a lot. It's going to go from 1.2 million members probably to under 1 million members because there's a lot of people, because of the shift, they're not prepared. They're not going to have the money to pay their dues. I'm already seeing it with some of our agents. And by the way, it happens across the board. Every level of production is going to face it. There are thousands and thousands of agents out there that closed 50 transactions last year, that closed 20 this year. That if they don't make the changes they need to make, they might only close a handful of deals next year or be out of the business. They're going to go back to what they were doing before the market went up and they were able to ride the tide up, right? That's what it was. And in a good market, you don't have to be a good agent. Right? You're like an order taker, right? I was like, yeah, you want fries with that house, right? The market's good. Everybody's happy. Everybody's winning. There's plenty of business to go around. Now that we're in the downturn, it's time to sharpen the saw, time to improve your skills, time to bring value to your clients and their transactions, create great experiences. All of that starts with taking action, right? Taking action. You've got to do the activities required to meet your goals. And until you have enough leads to hit your goals, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. So focus on the action around lead generation. Focus on the action around lead conversion, right? And what does lead conversion mean? That means being really good when you get in front of somebody, or being really, really good to get in front of somebody. Right? The difference between marketing and selling. Marketing is what you do to get in front of a prospect. Selling is what you do when you're in front of a prospect, right? How good are you at taking somebody walking into your open house, turning them into an actual client and getting them to write an offer and representing them in the purchase? There's a skill set from the time you meet them until the time you close them. And the top agents are just better at that stuff because they take the action to improve, right? So action being the theme of the day, that's what your focus has to be on, guys. It must be on taking action. All right. Let us, before we wrap this up, quickly go through, does anybody have any questions? You can just type it right into the little box there, like I'm doing right now. I'm real today. I'm not Jason, I'm real. So any questions? Anything you guys are just wondering about around activities? While you're thinking about that, I am going to once again share the daily 10-4. If you don't have an action plan, make this your action plan for the next 90 days. I promise you'll have some business going, okay? The daily 10-4. Number 1, meet 10 new people a day. This is 5 days a week, by the way. Meet 10 new people a day. If you meet 10 new people a day, 5 days a week, that's 50 people a week, right? That's 400, 200 new people a month. Is that right? Am I doing the right math? I think so. So meet 10 new people a day, however you want. Number 2, add 10 people to your database. We talked about build the database. probably a good idea to add those 10 new people into the database, but meet 10 new people, add 10 new people to the database every day. By the way, if you don't have a database or you don't have your past clients or your sphere of influence or your friends and family or whatever in a database somewhere, get those people in. Between now and the end of the year, make that a priority. That's an action item. Add those people to the database. Number 3 in the daily 10-4, write 10 thank you or thinking of you cards. Something happened this week that really drove this home for me, and it was the death of the letters. He was a very prominent letter writer. He wrote a ton of letters and thank you cards and heartfelt personal correspondence, which I think says a lot about his character. But think about it. When you get a personal handwritten note, how do you feel? And it could be like, I was at a dinner, I think it was our PSAR board installation dinner a few weeks ago, and I just happened randomly to sit at a table, and actually I was assigned to the table that was a bunch of local politics, and one of the people that was at the table was our county tax assessor slash tax collector, right? This is the guy that takes all the property taxes in, right? And had a nice conversation with him, and like a week and a half ago, I got a handwritten card from him that just said, hey, Jason, it was great meeting you at the installation dinner. The PSAR board is excited to have you, or it's a great honor for the board, for you to serve on the board. I wish you guys all the luck in achieving your goals this year. It was just a quick little handwritten note. I was thinking, how cool. I got a letter from our county tax assessor. Now, if I ever have, I know where I can go, right? So those handwritten cards are super important. So meet 10 new people, add 10 new people to the database, write 10 thank you or thinking of you notes. And then the 4th one is preview 10 properties a week. Just go out and see property. Go see 8 or 10 homes a week. It gives you market knowledge. That one isn't selling. Why did that one sell in 2 days? Boy, I see why they had to drop the price on this one. It's important to have market knowledge, okay? So 10 new people, write, or add 10 new people to your database, meet, add, write, preview. Now, that's an action plan. That's something you can do. You don't need a computer program or any software or an app to do that. Just write on your schedule. Call 10 people today. Meet 10 people today. Write 10 cards today. Go preview property Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, whatever it is. I love driving, like I'll be driving home sometimes and I'll see open house signs and I'll just pull in, go check out the house. Often I know the agent, but I really want to see the house. So that's an action plan, daily 10-4. I promise if you do that consistently for 90 days, 5 days a week, 90 days, you will have some business going on. So here's the question, and I posed it earlier. What if you doubled it or tripled it or quadrupled it? Instead of 10 a day, you did 20 or 30 or 40. You took massive action for the next 90 days. Massive action for the next 90 days. What would your business look like? What would your bank account look like? What would your summer vacation plans look like? Would that smile you give you before you go off to work be a little brighter, a little bigger, because she knows you're working hard and building your business? I mean, think about that. I mean, really think about it. I know I'm scuba diving. I'm going a little deep here, but think about it. Do the 10 the first week just to get into the flow. Then do 20 the next week, 30 the following week, 40 that next week after that. What would your business look like if you took massive action? If you spent 20 or 30 minutes a day improving your just listed, just sold script, if you took 20 or 30 minutes a day improving your buyer consultation presentation or your listing presentation, instead of talking to 100 people to get an appointment because you're getting better, you're building your skills, now you're talking to 70 people, 60 people, 30 people to get an appointment. Do you see where that goes, guys? Do you see how you shrink that in? You're zeroing in because you're getting better. That's all it is. So have an action plan. Set some time aside to improve your skills as well. Okay? Any questions? MD Lambert is asking about a program. What kind of a program are you asking about? I don't know that I'm following you. A program. Post it if you have specifics on the program that you're interested in. Oh, here's the last thing, guys. I sent, so last week we did the business planning, goal setting using the Commitment to Excellence program, and I gave you guys the link for that. I couldn't send that to you guys because it is a paid program. Unfortunately, it's $30 a month. If you guys are interested, you go check that out. But what I did send to Dan in our support team is another business planning and goal setting platform that you guys can use that comes from it's called Breakthrough Broker. It's a really good one. So I think he's going to either include a link in the newsletter if he didn't already, but we can get that one sent out to you guys if you want kind of a more simplified version of that for free. Was more than happy to share that one with him. All right, MD says to just build my client list on Google. Yeah, man, listen, for some sort of a database program, I don't care. It doesn't matter what you're using. Make Facebook your database if you need to. I mean, anything that you're going to use, that's the best thing to use, right? A program called LionDesk, which I really love. A lot of the MLSs I know are offering LionDesk as a free member benefit now. I've been using it for several years. I think I pay 20 or 30 bucks a month. And but there's a lot of them out there, free ones. You can go play around and check them out. Just Google real estate CRM and you'll see something. But whatever you're going to do, just use it. Doesn't matter. It could be an Excel spreadsheet if you want to keep it simple. All you need is here's my lead, here's their contact information and some notes, right? Because as you're following up, you want to be able to reference those notes. What was the last conversation about? What's the next step, right? When do I contact them again? Just be able to track some basic information. So anything you want to use is fine. Anything else? Good question. There you go. We just answered the, gotcha. Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you. We're an hour today, even with the hiccup of deleting all you guys and starting over. We'll be on tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. I'm trying to get Carter, our lender, back on because there's been some things going on with mortgage rates and loan limits. So I'm hoping he'll be able to join us tomorrow morning, and we'll talk a little bit about that and share a couple of other things going on in the marketplace. So that'll be tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern. And I appreciate you guys tuning in today. It's always so much fun. I love doing this, and I hope you guys are getting stuff out of it. So get out there and sell some real estate. We'll talk tomorrow, guys. Take care.